Hey guys, I wasn't actually going to do a talk about this light, but there is a bit of a concerning issue that needs to be discussed. I was just going to do a demo with my measurements, but we'll just go over the light a bit. So we've got the Cree XHP70.3 high intensity LED, nice textured reflector on this that produces an awesome beam on it. The beam on it, so you got a nice hot spot. There's no edge to that hotspot. It is just a nice smooth transition into the spill. Really great to look at. And so you've got a couple of faint outer rings outside of this spill, but it is very faint and it's not a problem. So much better than the Convoy M21G that has a really bright ring. It's really distracting. I just absolutely hate it. So you've got a side switch on this, battery status indicator, nice rubber switch, and then a silver ring that can be removed, and you can change out that rubber boot if it gets damaged, which is so much better than the plastic switches that are on like the SP35, real mushy and a lot of play in them. If that something happens, you have to remove the driver to be able to replace it. So it's just great to be able to swap it out. USB-C charging, and this supports quick charge and a power bank as well. And with the quick charge, it's weird because it will undercharge the batteries and stop at like 4.09 volts. And then you plug it into standard an adapter that doesn't have the quick charge, and that charges up to 4.16 volts. So I just don't know why that's happening there. I wish they would change these covers on this. It just catches on quite a lot of their models. No big deal though, but like more on the EDC models, it's just a bit annoying, that flap. The fins on here, they're super sharp. They haven't rounded them off at all, but that's pretty typical for a lot of the Sofirn models. It's on them all. So you've got smooth anodizing on this, but there's just so much grip on this knurling on the body, which is awesome. You've got two lanyard attachment points and a tail stands, quite fine. So on to the negatives about this light, and that is it overcharges the batteries, and that is a major concern because they're bundled unprotected 21700 batteries, and that is pretty unwise to do that. If it's two batteries in series, you need to make sure that they're matched and an even voltage always. And it has like an inner tube inside the light that is meant to balance charge, but it just doesn't seem to be working as it should. And if it had protected 21700 batteries bundled, then you wouldn't need to worry the same. But I don't even think you can install protected 21700. It's just not long enough for that. So they just need to fix that. So sometimes, like, it's unpredictable, the charging on it. So sometimes it will undercharge, sometimes overcharge, sometimes the battery voltage is balanced and it's even, and sometimes it's not. So I don't know what's going on, but it's not doing its job. I'm thinking that these batteries aren't even, matched in performance. When you're using cheaper batteries, they should be using maybe LG or Molicel or Samsung, where there's good consistency between the cells. And so like the capacity is like really close on both. And I just don't know what's under the wrapper on those, but under load, like if I go outside, I'm turboing it for 40 minutes, on and off, I checked the voltage on both batteries and they're different. So one was like 2.68 volts and the other one was 2.75. So they're not discharging equally either. So you know, it's just a bit concerning. Just while it's on my mind, like the UI, the automatic lockout is super annoying. Like after 2 to 3 minutes, it will lock itself, and then 2 presses will unlock it. Just wish you could disable it. It's just annoying. Since the rear tail threads aren't anodized, you can't just unscrew the tail to lock it out. And so you can unscrew the head a little bit and that will lock it out, stop it turning on, but it causes some issues because I'll just take the inner tube out just so you guys can see. So there's like, you know, anodizing there. There's this inner tube. And so the batteries here connect into it. There's a little contact. Oh, you can't really see that. But you've got like there's a contact point here, and that transfers the negative and positive of the batteries into this outer tube here, and this tube connects to a ring on the driver. So yeah, you've got a nice spring on the driver here, and then you've got these 2 rings. So the batteries connected in series to that spring, and then the tube edge, the inner tube edge connects to the inner ring, and then the battery tube connects then to the outer ring. So this inner tube is just for the balancing, to balance charge it. It's just doesn't do its job. I just screwed it in the wrong way. So yeah, if you screw this on. So if you unscrew this to lock it out, that inner tube is still connected, and I believe that is what is causing issues. So if you have that unscrewed for too long and you tighten it back up, when you turn that light back on, this indicator in the switch will just flash non-stop red as if it's a low battery, but it's not. Fully charged batteries, and sometimes it stops it from turning on. So I was out there doing the footage, and you know, it just wouldn't turn on. I removed the batteries, put them back in, still flashing red. So I had to actually remove the inner tube, put the batteries in without it, and that's when it was able to turn on. So it's something going on there with the driver and that inner tube. But if you just leave the light as is, you don't lock it out, there's no issue with that. But one other thing with it is, sorry, I'm a bit all over the place because there's issues on this light, and it's just doing a few weird things. So if you have this unscrewed to lock it out, sometimes when you go to use it, it will change by itself into the smooth ramping from the stepped ramping. And that's had me scratching my head a few times because I've been like, I'm sure I didn't change it. And yeah, so one other thing, like if you have it in the smooth ramping and you go to lock it out, when you unlock it, sometimes it gets stuck in turbo. And it seems like the only way you can get it out is a double click, or hold from off gets to the moonlight mode, and you can increase the brightness from there and it gets it out of it. But yeah, so it's just a bit annoying that you know, they're gonna hopefully fix these things, and it would be a really awesome light to use. I'm really happy with the performance on this, even though it's an unregulated driver on here, so it will reduce in brightness with the battery voltage. which is disappointing because I was really hoping that the inner tube was actually converting the batteries from series into parallel, and that it would be a boost driver for good regulated output. That's what I'd hoped for, and only to find that they had used an unregulated driver again. You know, it's on so many of their models. It's just like they're just not really caring about releasing a high-end product anymore. It's like their name's out there, and they're not even really advertising their lights anymore. You just see them appear on the store. But for the driver aside, it's still a really good light. Just don't use the built-in charging at this time. But yeah, that's about it. Like, I wanted to sell this in my store in New Zealand, just when I was first looking at the beam. You know, just real impressed with the distance, the coverage. It was just so good. But then, you know, I started to discover the bugs and the overcharging, and I was just like, no, I'm just not going to take that risk. Lithium batteries can be so dangerous if they're misused. Because if things go wrong, I've seen like on forums of flashlights exploding because of the misuse of batteries or cheap batteries that have been bundled. And, you know, it's rare, but it can happen, and I really don't want to be selling exploding flashlights. You know, that wouldn't be very ideal at all. But yeah, I just as for now, I would probably avoid buying this model. But I will update in the comments if anything is updated and fixed there. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy and have a good week. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.